Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. Today I want to share with you a passage from the Gospel of Matthew, but before we do that I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story of something that happened to me a few years ago. For those of you who don't know me, I was born with only half a working heart, which is weird and confusing, but it somehow works. And it's an incredible physical thing, but it's also quite an emotional thing. And over the years, I've had to come to terms with it and deal with it. And since being a teenager, I found myself in some sort of counselling or therapy, which has been really helpful. But I learned that I'm not very good at it, which sounds weird because I never thought it was something that you got good at. But I used to be really, really bad at opening up and sharing how I was feeling. And so a couple of years ago, I ended up in this counselling session where this poor counsellor was trying to help me open up about my fear of death, which was something that I was struggling with. And I just wouldn't open up or talk to her or share how I was feeling. And so she resorted to getting out this big box of sand. And she said, "Andrew, go into that room next door, which is full of shelves of toys and knickknacks and stuff. Go in there, pick out a few things and arrange it on the sand that to you represents a happy place." And so I go into this cupboard and it's full of stuff, and immediately my brain goes, right, I need to out-psych the psychologist. I need to make myself look good. I need to not give her anything that she can read into too much. So I was like, better avoid the alcohol bottles on the side. I better pick stuff that's fine, normal. So I go into the cupboard and pick out a few little people, some Jenga bricks, a little dog, and I build the dog a house on the sand, put the people around. There's a little football, I'm playing football. Fine, happy. I thought I'd done well. And so she looks at this, and then she sort of pauses and looks at me and says, "Right, Andrew, you've put down some aliens. What do they represent to you?" I was like, what on earth are you on about? Turns out the people that I picked were little aliens, and I then spent the next half an hour trying to explain that I wasn't feeling alienated. So my whole thing of trying to outside the psychologist really didn't work. So once I'd convinced her that it was a genuine mistake, she said, "I want you to go back in that cupboard and pick out something that to you represents death." So I go in there and I'm browsing the shelves, and in the end I find the biggest T-Rex that I can and come back through and just plonk him on the sand. I don't think she quite saw the funny side of it, and I think she kind of gave up at that point. But I was just really bad at opening up and using counselling as something to help me, which I've since learnt is the best way to do it, and being honest and open is great, and counselling really helps. But there's this amazing passage in Matthew that to me is a real comfort, and it says this. It says, "Come to me, all who labour and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." And in this passage, Jesus just wants us to come to him with everything that we have. We don't have to be like I was. We don't have to try and out-psych Jesus. We don't have to try and portray ourselves in a certain way. We don't have to hide or be closed off. Jesus just says, "Come to me." And the amazing thing is that Jesus already knows what's going on. He knows our fears, he knows our worries, he knows our anxieties, he knows everything, which can be quite scary at times when you think Jesus literally knows everything about me. But it's also an incredibly liberating thing. When we come to him, we don't have to be closed off because he already knows what's going on. He already understands our worries, our fears. And so we can just come to him with those. And he promises us rest. And then Jesus goes on to say, "For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." And this is showing my stupidity, but I literally used to think that Jesus was talking about eggs, which I've since learned is not a thing. And he is in fact talking about this, which is a device they used to use to help more than one cattle carry a heavy load. And it's a beautiful picture that Jesus is using of us being yoked and connected to him, and carrying our burdens, carrying our struggles with him. He's not rushing ahead, he's not falling behind, he's literally side by side with us, pulling our burdens, pulling our anxieties, and he just invites us to be yoked with him and be part of this journey. I don't know about you, but this time of lockdown has been such a anxiety-inducing time. I think as we have more time, our brains just go into a little bit of overdrive, which is a little bit of an understatement, because my brain has pretty much been going at about 5,000 miles an hour, and there have been times where I literally want to drop it out. But it's a real time where actually old stuff resurfaces and our brains just are in overdrive and start worrying about stuff that we wouldn't normally worry about. But Jesus promises us this rest, and he just invites us to come and just to be still before him, and just be yoked to him and share the load between us. So as we close, I wonder if you might find it helpful just to close your eyes, and just come before Jesus right now. You know, whatever you're struggling with, whatever your anxieties are, whatever your fears are today, whatever your brain whatever's been whizzing around it really fast the last few days, just come before him, because he already knows these things. He knows what's going on in your head right now, and he promises us his rest. And as we close, I just want to read the same passage but from the Message version, and just want to pray it over you. And it just says this. It says, "Are you tired, worn out, burnt out on religion? Come to me, get away with me, and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me and you'll learn to live freely and lightly." It's just an amazing promise from the Lord. So today I just pray that you would just feel this sense of peace and rest, and you might find comfort knowing that Jesus is side by side with you. He's not rushing ahead, he's not falling behind, he just invites you to go with him. Share the load, fall onto him, rest in him. Amen. Hope you have a really great day, and we'll catch you again soon.